Because you know better than us to resolve this problem.
Our visitor today is Marcello, and I would like Marcello to introduce himself and tell us a little about his background.
Well, I'm Marcello Megostovic, I'm 24. I used to work as a caretaker, and I live in France, in a small town.
Marcello, you are in South Africa at the moment.
Yes.
Why are you here?
I'm here to learn as much as I can about what happened in South Africa, because what happened in South Africa is happening in Europe, and I want to know how to solve our problem, like with immigration.
Marcello, is it your first visit to South Africa?
My first visit to South Africa, yes.
How long have you been in South Africa?
A week and a half.
And what were your first experiences?
Well, I arrived at Johannesburg International Airport, and there's something that triggers me is that there's a lot of lots of Chinese influence in Africa, and especially in South Africa, I think. Chinese seems like a big influencer in the political game, economically also. And also to see so many different people talking different language, it's really strange.
Have you traveled to other countries in Europe or the world?
Yes, I've been, last November I was in Ukraine to see with my own eyes what is happening.
And what was your experience there?
It was, I felt more safe in Ukraine than South Africa.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How long did you stay there?
A week.
Did you see any of the fighting there?
No, I was in Odessa, and there was some destroyed buildings. I didn't see any fighting or that matter. But what did I see is that the country is in a very difficult situation, because they don't have enough money to take care of themselves. They're heavily dependent on Europe. And unfortunately for them, the future will be more difficult than a war, I think.
Can you tell us something about your own home country, France?
Yes. Well, I live in a small town, 10,000 inhabitants. It's quite nice. It's a nice town, but most of the people are not French, so it's quite concerning. Even me, I'm not French, but I'm not African, so I can easily adapt to the country.
Do you find that the immigrants, say from Africa in France, adapt more difficult?
Yes.
It's more difficult for them?
Yes. Also, since their childhood, they have a hate towards France. As we know, a problem with immigration. I think it can be solved if we try, at least. We have to try.
And how can one fix that?
Well, I don't know the answer, and that's why I'm in South Africa, is to looking for answers. Because you know better than us to resolve this problem.
Is France a nice country?
At the moment, yes, but it's in a decline, so it won't be so nice in the times to come.
What is the best things in France? What are the best aspects of France?
Well, I would say social security is nice, but it's also double-edged sword, because since we have a lot of immigrants that they take from our social security system, it's becoming difficult to have enough money for the French people, because a lot of immigrants have health problem, and by law we are forced to take care of them. So
is it easy to immigrate to France?
Well, I guess yes, because hundreds of thousands of immigrants come to our country, so
Legally or illegally?
illegally.
Illegally.
Yeah.
Okay, but how is that possible? Do the police not check on that? Are the borders too open? What are the reasons?
Well, as we know, the borders of Europe are wide open, and also NGOs are human trafficking the African people. They bring them in our countries, and they make them new Europeans.
What would the motivation be from the side of the immigrants themselves and also from the people who accommodate them? Why would immigrants move from wherever they are to France or to Europe?
No, I think to seek a better life, which is okay. I understand. But
And why are the people of Europe accommodating these people in such numbers?
we have been brainwashed with hating ourselves. Like we need diversity. We need immigrants to do our work, which is something it's really dangerous to do, because when immigrants take jobs and then they have kids and etc., over time they will become a majority. So France won't be French in times to come.
But do you see that happening?
Yes, even my small town, it's mostly Arab or African people. Yeah, so I can see with my own eyes.
And who does all the manual work in France?
Foreigners.
Always foreigners.
A lot of French are working, don't get me wrong, but we don't have enough manpower to do our own work.
And children, shall we say European children, are there a shortage of children being born in France?
Yes. Despite the generous social security we have, French people don't make enough kids.
Can you tell me something about religion in Europe in general, the history and how things are now?
Well, Europe used to be very Christian, but we lost this religion. Instead, we are becoming Muslim. So there's a shift, quite big shift. And a lot of French people also are going to Islamic faith.
Shall we say the European French, are they going to Muslim religion?
Yes, I know some French people that did go to Islam.
Why would that be so attractive to them?
Well, I don't know yet, but I think just like Christian used to be a community, to have roots, to have an identity. So I think that's a reason they're going to Islamic faith, because they feel part of a group. And
If you had to guess, what percentage of French people are Islamic now?
I don't know.
Can you take a guess? 10%, 50%?
No, I don't want to say fake numbers.
But are there a lot? Or not too many?
Not too many yet.
So you would say that most people in France or in Europe have no religion?
Yes. Most people in France are atheists. But
and there's a slow shift towards Muslim
yes,
religion.
because Muslim makes more kids. So obviously, there won't be enough atheists in comparison to Muslim people. So.
And if you look at France in general, you come from a small town. Are all the towns roughly the same and the cities, or are there regions of France that look different? In terms of immigration, do the immigrants move to certain cities or certain areas, or are they all over France?
All over.
All over equally?
Yes. Some in big city, there's more of them, but in recent years we have many of them in small towns and rural areas.
And shall we say the original people of France, how do they feel about the mass immigration?
Well, there's also a shift that I can see. For last election, for example, the Rassemblement National is becoming the first party in France, which is far right. So people are getting more aware of what is happening.
And in the rest of Europe, which countries are worse in terms of immigration and which are better?
France and England, I think,
are the worst.
Yes, and Spain, Portugal are not far from us. Yes.
Can you easily move to another country in Europe?
Well, I think yes, since we have a lot of agreements in the European Union, so it can be easy for French citizen to move to Italy in comparison to a South African moving to Italy.
And in your opinion, or can you tell me something about, or your own feeling about the European Union?
I think it's a good idea on paper, but it become a corrupted system because we are 400 million or so people in Europe, and we don't have colonial territory, so we are really small countries with small population. So to be relevant in the international world, I think we have to come together, but also since we have a different history, German, French, Italians, and Austrian, we have to work this out, but we can't just be one European something. We are very different from each other, but since we don't have any, we are not a colonial empire or so we are irrelevant at the moment because small country, small population, small economy, we can't afford the lifestyle we had during colonial times. And thing is, since we lost all of our territories overseas, it's becoming tough to have a stable economy because we have to import a lot of things. We don't have that many resources.
Where do you import from mainly?
So that I don't know, but since all the resources are mostly elsewhere because we have kind of exhausted our resources in our continent, so just common sense to apply.
Marcello, you are interested in politics in general, and it seems to me that colonialism is a subject that you like. Can you tell us about that?
I think colonialism was what brings European to have a lot of power, politically, economically. I mean, in 1930s, with colonial territories, we used to be 110 million inhabitants in all over the world under French rule, and now we are just 70 million or so. So I think we lost a lot by giving our territories overseas. So maybe it was not nice to be under foreign rules for African people, of course. But if we look at them at the moment, I think they're worse than it used to be in the French rule, for example. Even for South Africa, if we look at what's happening, some African men say they would prefer apartheid than the ANC. So we became irrelevant in the outside world by giving our territories overseas because we are a small population. We don't count. I mean, in a few years, Africa will be 1 billion people or so. We have 400 million in Europe. We can't compete with Africa. So
if you look at world politics, which are the strong countries now, in your opinion? or the upcoming countries?
I think Africa will be stronger. Yes, and that's what I want. I want Africa to be stronger because it has a lot of potential. But at the moment, America, China, India, Russia are the big players. But Africa should be, it can be more powerful than we think. And I hope Africa becomes a strong continent.
And in terms of economic power, where is the big economic powers in Europe at the moment?
Normally, I think it's Italy, France, and Germany. But the thing is, we have quite a few illegal workers that came. So we can be powerful producers, but it's not Italian or French people that produce. It's foreigners. So even though we can produce a lot, it's not done by our hands. So it doesn't really make the country more powerful. Yeah.
Which other countries have you traveled to?
Ukraine, Belgium, and Italy. Yes.
You are from Italian descent, is that
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Can you tell us the story of your parents and so on?
Yes. My family came to France because they were a political refugee, so they had to find a peaceful life, somewhere. And yeah, France took us. Thanks, France. And since then, we are normal citizen, no problem. But the thing is, you can't just accept every political refugee, I think. So.
If we talk about the major shifts or the major directions on the planet, communism is one of them. Have you any experience of communism?
I went to Ukraine to see what's left of communism. Still, a lot of people dislike communism. I mean, yeah, it's kind of normal what Stalin did to Ukrainian people, but I can still see a lot of Lada, old Soviet cars running in Ukraine, still be used. So.
But as a political ideology, do you think there's any future in communism?
I think communism will be mixed with Islam. Communism has to survive somehow, and Islam can be a corpse in which communism can get inside.
That's interesting. And if you look at capitalism, which is also a major direction on the planet, what do you say about that?
It's best with system we have at the moment.
So it's not ideal.
It's not ideal, but it's the best we have. I mean, every country that tried communism has failed. So
can you predict the future?
I can't predict the future, but I hope communism will be dead. I hope people get peaceful life. I hope, for example, no more war in Ukraine. So on, just to have peaceful life. Don't have to fight for some political leaders. I mean, you're just poor people fighting each other. What's the point?
If you just forget all the present politics and you try and define what freedom is, can you tell me what freedom is?
To be able to do what I want in a respectful manner. I mean, I want to work, I want to develop my I want to develop me, my country, my people. I can't be free if someone different tell me, oh, you should not do this. I mean, with different culture, sometimes it can't work. So I need to be free. I need to be with my own people.
Can you tell me what the definition of politics is?
Politics.
It's a difficult one, I know.
It's difficult.
You can try.
But I think it's managing people to develop. Like we need some people to make a road or something. I mean, we need a budget. We need a plan. We need train people to do the work. So it doesn't come like that. We need politicians to manage people.
And if you look at your own future, what would you like to have your own future like?
To have a peaceful life.
Peaceful.
As peaceful as I can.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of a fight I'm not interested in. I don't want to kill someone. I don't want to. I just want to work and live. That's
and
it.
if you could choose, where would you live? If you could choose anywhere on earth, where would you want to live and what would you like to do?
I would like to live in South Africa and share what the South Africans have learned over time. I'm currently reading a book. It's called South Africa, What Now? Written by Isaac Campbell, written in 1947. And there's a moment in the book that says South Africa is a young country with a lot of problems. 1947. Young country with a lot of problems.